Hi, Tendai Vicky here.
Hi, Dan Toma here. Welcome to the Corporate Startup. Why the Corporate Startup? Why the work that I'm doing with Tendai Vicky?
Me and Dan Toma have been working with large companies over the last few years trying to help them figure out some of these methodologies and how they can be applied in their contexts. And so the Corporate Startup, which is the book we're writing, focuses really on how large companies can use these methodologies based on some of the lessons that we've learned in trying to do our work.
If one was to found a company in 1960, the life expectancy of that company would be 50 to 60 years. If one is to found a company in 2016, the life expectancy of that venture would be less than 12 years, because the cost of building a company has decreased dramatically as we got more and more technical and we got more and more technology.
And so our book, presents what we think are like the 5 core pillars of how large companies can actually build innovation ecosystems. We think that large companies should have an innovation thesis, which is kind of similar to how investments or venture capital firms have investment theses.
What we've seen happening is that a lot of these managers now go to the startup world and try to import one-to-one methods, methodologies, and tools that have worked and that have proven successful in the startup world, only to see that they fail. Because enterprises cannot act like startups and they should not.
As we all know, there's this notion that there's no such thing as a bad idea. But actually, if you have an innovation thesis, it stops you from scrambling. And of course, this innovation portfolio is an expression of the company's innovation thesis. Large companies should have really an innovation framework. So they shouldn't try and just do innovation at random. Because if companies are requiring their innovation projects to be managed in the same way that they're managing their core products, then their innovation projects are much more likely to fail. Every company needs what we like to refer to as product development best practices. And so the combination of all these things then join up to make sure that there's an ecosystem within the company where you have cross-functional teams.
Where you have an R&D department, where you have financial, where you have legal, where you have compliance, where you have audit. These are all elements of an ecosystem. The ecosystem design is the key of what we are talking about in the Corporate Startup.
And we're hoping that our book can start to help large companies and established companies sort of adapt and create new business practices that help them manage their businesses in a much more appropriate way for the current modern economy and the 21st century.